Why majority of the attacks you are seeing is domiciled in Delta and then coming along to Rivers, Bayelsa, which
what do you think is the reason?
It's because it is obviously showing you that this direction is where the sponsors are. You know, it's obviously direct indicating that the sponsors of this Niger Delta Avengers are domiciled within that area. You know, so because they are well conversant with that area. You understand? So the only way we can get a permanent solution, because armed agitation is not a solution to our problems today.
Do you think the president is being properly briefed about what really the issues are, what the people on the ground think of what is going on and what they expect?
If the president is not properly briefed, the president will not go to Ogoni and start the implementation of the union proposal.
No, that's a report that came up before.
It came up before, but he's implementing it. The president has the right to say, even in the cash crop situation that we find ourselves, the president has the right to say that report can wait, because Nigerian government has to spend money in paying Ogoni. But the president is saying, yes, this is an avenue for me to show the people that I'm unbiased and I'm ready to develop the region. You see, and it worries me so much when I see people that are of high-level people or status in the society come out and make certain statements that the government is vendetta. How can a government be vendetta that has appointed a Niger Delta to be in charge of the amnesty? How can a government be vendetta that has taken steps to clean up Ogoni reports that he was not even part of? You know, so we need to encourage this government.
So you think
and engage them.
You think the Avengers is another business?
Of course, obviously. You know, today I want to be very frank and speak like a nationalist, because you know, when in 2005, when Asari Dokubo was facing his trial, the lives of Shetima Yerima spoke in favor of the Niger Delta struggle. That was one of the youth leaders in Ariwa Consultative Forum. He spoke in favor of the Niger Delta struggle. So let's with all fairness, a Northerner created the Niger Delta Ministry. A Northerner granted us the amnesty. A Northerner started the construction of the East-West Road, the dualization of the East-West Road.
But the Avengers are saying that is why they have taken about 60% of the oil.
Yeah, that's
blocks.
what I'm saying. They have identified the source spot. You know, so they are hiding under that's our plight, and that is where it's annoying. You know, it's appalling, because you are using the collective interest of everybody to pursue your personal goal. That's why I say it's semblance of a political struggle, because you know, if the government has said certain persons within certain areas have questions to answer, I mean, I don't see that as vindictive.
If all those programs you've mentioned have solved the problem, why do we still have agitation?
No, you don't get it. What I'm saying is that there's criminals all over the world. Even in England, even in America, there are criminals all over the world. We always have criminal elements amongst us. But what I'm saying is that curbing this criminal element, the strategy in curbing this criminal element is identifying government with the people. And the way government can directly harness their security strategy in getting these persons that are perpetrating this evil, blowing up pipeline, which is not in our interest and also not in the interest of the environment, is identifying the community leadership, which are the CDC and the traditional rulership
now, I get
in all those communities, and they use them to fish out the culprits.
Those interventionist agencies that you highlighted that have been set up by different governments, to what extent has it gone in addressing the problem of development and cleanup in the region?
You see, like I said earlier, the fundamental problem is development. Even if we have a physical federated unit today in this country, people will still ask people in authoritative positions or question the actions of people in authoritative positions to do the right thing.
That's democracy. They have to.
So, pardon?
It's democracy. That will always happen.
So what I'm saying in essence is that every government has a strategy they put in place in addressing certain issues. You know, give this government is just 1 year in power. Give this government a time while we're engaging them. You know, the way the government can implement this strategy is first and foremost ensuring that those who are not genuinely agitating for the people are brought to justice, and then moving part of the technical recommendations from the Niger Delta Master Plan. The Niger Delta Master Plan in itself says coastal road, the Brass LNG, the Federal Polytechnic for Oil and Gas in Bonny. These are projects that will train our people in our place, and then also employ them and then give them meaningful employment. So there's already a master plan to develop the Niger Delta.
So have those agencies, those interventionist programs, what part of the master plan or what percentage has been fulfilled? They were set up before the president came into power.
Exactly. So you see, it's the political will of every administration to implement those recommendations, and these recommendations have been on before this time. This government, what I'm saying is that this government can implement this recommendation by having their own team that will advise them on how to go about it. And the only way the government can do that successfully is having people which are already advising them what to do in the right direction by ensuring that the coastal road project is implemented.
When you say these people, there's a certain sponsors and things going on in that realm, one wonders, does that then mean that people don't genuinely feel hard done by for them to say, listen, our previous leaders have spoken peacefully, nobody listened to them, some of them were killed, some groups have come up, albeit militant groups, they haven't still addressed the key issues that we're talking about. So if there wasn't a lacuna, as they say in law, if there wasn't a loophole, do you think these groups will not arise?
You see, the issues of undevelopment in the Niger Delta is a fact. And we all have agreed that until we address these issues, subsequent agitation will not stop. You see, but we should be able to demarcate criminal agitation and genuine agitation. That's what I'm saying. And then in doing that, while government is also doing that, government should also look at the areas of implementing those recommendations in the past that have been put forward. And like I said, the present administration, I don't think they have done too much wrongs at this time by not looking at those key areas. What they can do is probably revisit those recommendations.
Like which one?
The NDC master plan, the Niger Delta Technical Committee recommendations, and so on. And then see how they can start putting those projects into budget and then implementing them. So I think the government have a lifeline of 3 more years to go.
So pardon me to jump in. If you say, because you said it previously, that the government should not negotiate with this Avengers group, what about the other groups? Should they negotiate with them?
You see, I think when you say negotiate with groups, we need to identify which groups we are talking about. Is it the ethnic nationalities, or is it NGOs we are talking about? I think the rightful people that government should be dealing with are the ethnic nationalities in the Niger Delta.
Can the states help here?
Obviously, the state are stakeholders. The states are stakeholders.
But you don't seem to recognize that, because in all your submissions, you've always said either now ethnic nationalities, the CDC, community. What happens to the states?
Like I said, government is saddled with the responsibility of developing the region, and there are 3 tiers of government. So if we're discussing the 3 tiers of government holistically, let's be clear on the terms of what we are discussing. But when I'm discussing those that are saddled with responsibility of taking certain reasons to develop the region are the federal government. So
okay,
that's why I'm directly. I'm not shying away for the fact that the state government does not play a key role.
Do you think they failed or done enough?
Well, certain state governments have been called to question. So I cannot outrightly say state government had failed. because government is continuity. But what I will say here is that I'm directing my opinions to the federal government at this instant, you know, and then you must agree with me that.
But the federal government doesn't exist in isolation. They exist in states. Whatever they have to do will be done in states.
Obviously.
There isn't a place carved out called federal governments.
The states, like I said, are stakeholders. And then the government cannot do anything without involving the states. But at this instance, if we leave all the responsibility for the state, it may be too much for them to carry, to bear.
Aren't you worried for yourself with these viewpoints? It doesn't seem to be populist in nature. So many people from your region wouldn't buy into it if you say, and even some outside the region would say, hey, wait a minute, what is Elvis talking about? You say we shouldn't negotiate when we have an issue. Now that the group has agreed to negotiate, you say it is a criminal group.
You see, a lot of people share this opinion of mine. Maybe they don't have the opportunity to come out and speak. I can give you an instance. The former ex-militant leader in Bayelsa, General Africa, wrote an open letter to the president, I think last week or so, stating that the danger in what the federal government might be doing negotiating with this group, it may create reasons for a splinter group. It may create an avenue for people to understand that when you have questionings with government, you can use this channel to seek attention and then negotiate and get the hook out of it. So those persons have been able to make those submissions, and a lot of people feel alike, you know. So it's because they haven't had the opportunity to come and speak out. Doesn't mean people does not think in this direction. A lot of people, like myself, thinks in this direction.
All right, Elvis Donkemezuo is a Niger Delta youth leader. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you very much.
Well, we'll be back. We have another perspective to go. Don't